Hello folks, this is Aitan Aja from InspiredToWise.com and today we are going to talk about the Nokia 5.3. So guys, let's first start with the build and design. It comes with a composite polymer back and it has got some sturdiness to it. At the back there's the fingerprint sensor along with the LED flash and the quad camera setup. There's the power button and the volume rocker on the right hand side, and it's got a very nice finish, almost a matte look to the smartphone, and it's very lightweight at around 185 grams. And there's the Nokia branding at the back. On the left hand side there's the SIM tray slot for this one. At the bottom there's the USB-C port, the speaker grill along with the microphone, and overall I felt that this smartphone does have a good feel in hand. Apart from that, there's the Google Assistant button on the right hand side. We'll talk about that later. It comes with a 6.55-inch LCD display, has a big bottom bezel, Gorilla Glass 3 protection. The display quality is good. The water drop notch does feel a little bit dated, but it's okay. The overall brightness is a little low for harsh Delhi sunlight, but it's still usable. There are surprisingly good blacks, slight bluish tint on the display which can be rectified in the display settings, and overall I felt that the display quality is good considering the price. If we talk about few other things, it comes with a 4000 mAh battery and it got me around 2 days on my kind of usage and 1 day plus on heavy usage. The power button for this smartphone houses a breathing notification LED light, so it does show up in the dark. This can be really great for checking up on notifications, but sometimes it can annoy you as well. It does not support 4G LTE Plus but does support VoLTE and VoWi-Fi, and the call quality was amazing. Overall, I felt that this smartphone is a well balanced smartphone for a lot of use cases. It does come up with a dedicated micro SD card slot, and if I talk about the battery usage as well, the battery drain was minimal on this smartphone. The optimization done is pretty good. Has a Snapdragon 665 chipset, 4 GB of RAM, 64 GB of internal storage, and you can expand up to 512 GB. It does have CAM2 API support, and it also has NFC as well on this smartphone. It's one of the few mid-range smartphones which has NFC, so that's also something good. If I talk about the user experience, that also was pretty good, and there's almost no bloatware here. If we talk about gaming, it can play a lot of games on medium settings, and Asphalt was playable easily. I was able to play Call of Duty as well, PUBG on medium settings, and I was able to play Grand Theft Auto Vice City as well on high settings. The frame rate wasn't exactly 60 FPS all of the time, but there was minimal heating on the smartphone, and it's good enough for your lightweight casual gaming. The internal storage goes up to 300 megabytes per second in read-write speed, which is okay but not really spectacular. If you talk about the camera setup on this phone, it comes with a quad camera setup, a 13 megapixel primary camera which shoots nice pictures in average to good lighting. The low light quality is subpar, it's not really that great, but you do get great detail for the price point. Gcam also works on this smartphone, and there's a 5 megapixel ultra wide sensor which does give you good images, but they are slightly inaccurate in terms of color rendition, and they are also softer compared to the main camera lens. There's also the inclusion of a 2 megapixel macro sensor, and there's also one depth sensor, though I don't feel the depth sensor adds too much to the photographs, but the macro sensor is a good addition to have when you have sufficient lighting. Overall, I like the camera on the smartphone. It does shoot 4K videos, but the stabilization in those 4K videos is not that great. The front camera is an 8 megapixel selfie camera with slightly blown highlights, and I felt that when you force HDR on the front camera, you would get better images, but it does not shine in every lighting condition. Apart from that, the 4K video comes with nice sharpness and decent audio, but there's poor stabilization in the video, which is something that a lot of people might not like. This is an Android One smartphone. You'll get guaranteed software updates up to 2 Android versions, so you'll get updates up to Android 12 as claimed by Nokia. There are a lot of subtle features in here which make it a good buy for a lot of people. This device has Widevine L1 support. It does have good optimization in terms of overall usage, but there are cons as well. The UI still has some occasional bugs, and the icons sometimes don't show up, random icons don't show up sometimes, but a simple reboot fixes those issues. It's not an ideal case scenario, and apart from that, the Bluetooth version on this one is just up to 4.2, so latest top of the line earphones etc won't support the smartphone properly. So at a price of around 13,999 in India, who should buy the smartphone? People who are looking for a good smartphone with a stock Android experience can easily go and buy this one. So guys, this was it for this video. In case you like this one, don't forget to smash the thumbs up button and do subscribe to Inspired to Rise for more awesome tech videos like this one. And guys, no matter what you do, stay inspired to rise.